welcome to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be a fun one. It's going to be a foundation review and wear test on this foundation here. So this is the Prada Reveal Skin Optimizing Foundation. If you know my love of foundations, then obviously you knew I had to pick this up and do a wear test on it. I'm very excited to be testing this foundation out. So in today's video, I'm going to be applying this foundation on camera with you, as well as doing an outside check-in in natural daylight, inserting in some swatches, and then just doing an end of day check-in where I kind of give my first impression thoughts. So if that sounds good to you, if you like foundation videos, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't yet. But let's just jump into the application portion of this video, and I'm gonna also just talk about some of the claims of this foundation. So as always, I have all my skincare on, no primer. My skincare has been sitting for maybe 30 minutes or so, but here is what the box looks like. And I picked up the shade LC15. When I bought this, there was really no swatches on the website. That seemed like the best that I could manage. I was debating between LC15 light cool or LN15 light neutral. And then here is the bottle. Now, I'm sure you've seen this from a lot of other people, but it is refillable, so this just slides out. And this is plastic, however, this is glass. So the entire foundation retails for $70. However, if you want just this part, it retails for $55 US dollars. So I don't know, I kind of like this. Prada is kind of known for their triangle, so I was half expecting this part to be less of a square, more of a triangle, but that's what they decided. So I'm just gonna try pump this out. I don't know if this is gonna be a good shade match for me. It might be a little light right now, but I think in winter it's gonna be fine. So I was fine going a little lighter rather than a little darker. Now, this is supposed to be a medium buildable coverage with a soft matte finish, so that's what I'm gonna test. I do prefer a soft matte finish or a soft glowy, as long as it's soft, natural looking, and typically I like more of a light to medium, not a medium, so I don't think I'm gonna build this up too much, and then it does claim to be long wearing. So this was one pump, and it is looking a little light. I'm gonna use my sponge here and just kind of first dot it around my face. It is, let's see, it's a little light, but I think it'll be okay. We might need 2 pumps just this first time. I'm gonna spread this out. Now I do have normal leaning dry skin, so I think I have a pretty good skin type as far as testing foundations, and kind of right smack dab in the middle. I don't drink enough water, so my skin's more dehydrated rather than dry. And I don't get too many just problem areas. I get like some breakouts here and there, like I have one here, but nothing too bad. I don't have acne prone skin like when I was younger. So far, I think the shade's okay. I think I'll need to warm it up with some bronzer for summertime, but that doesn't bother me. I don't think it's so light that it'll be noticeable. Now, on my pores here, that's my biggest problem area, is just enlarged pores on my cheeks. I would say it's not emphasizing them. It's not gonna completely make it disappear, but it's at least not emphasizing. And I am gonna go in, I think, with another pump. Sometimes the first pump, when it's a brand new bottle, doesn't pump out as much. It's kind of more of a half pump. So I'm just gonna still spread it around my face and just blend it down the neck a little. It was a little light, that's all right. I think once, like I said, I put bronzer on, it's gonna be just fine. So here's what it's looking like with 2 pumps. It definitely looks natural on the skin, and I would agree that it's a soft matte. Now, the problem you can run into with a soft matte foundation is it just starting to look too cakey. It is setting down, but I can see, you know, right on my cheeks that it does look like it's just gonna feel really heavy if I put powder on. So I think for today, I'll apply concealer and just powder my T-zone, but I'm not gonna powder too much and just use my powder complexion products to set the makeup down, because if not, I'm just worried that this is gonna look very heavy very quickly, and only the wear test is gonna tell me if my natural oils are gonna make this look more natural or if it's just gonna dry up throughout the day. Right now it looks okay, but I'm just getting the inkling on my cheeks that it's just starting to look a little too powdery and heavy. The rest, you know, my forehead looks fantastic. I would say that looks the best out of everything. It's not settling into, you know, my forehead lines. Down here, cheeks look fine, chin around my mouth is looking okay. Nose looks pretty good, no complaints. It's just my cheeks. So I'm gonna apply the rest of my makeup off of camera, be really careful with the powder, show you what this foundation looks like after all my makeup is on, and we'll go from there. Rest of my makeup is on. Like I said, I only powdered underneath where I placed concealer. I only put concealer underneath my eyes, and then I powdered just in between here, bridge of my nose for my glasses, and my chin. So this is what the makeup's looking like. The blush kind of got out of hand, but regardless, for me, the foundation is looking more than a soft matte. It's looking like a full-on matte. I mean, not a full-on matte, but what I categorize as a full matte. So I am going to use setting spray. I don't always use setting spray when doing my makeup unless it looks just a little powdery, but I wanted to show you what the foundation looked like before I set my face. Normally I do this before mascara, so this is going to be a little bit of a risk, but I'm going to spray it so we can see together what it looks like after. And I'm going to use just very little. And then normally when I spray, I can taste it, I take my sponge and I just kind of pat it in to really press and meld the powders together. And hopefully that takes down some of that powderyness. Now, if you have oily skin, you might want to skip this. You might like a full matte finish. I don't know. This just helped a lot just where my cheeks are. I like how this looks a lot more. Hopefully my natural oils don't come through and break up the foundation. That's really all I'm concerned about at this point. I think that the foundation does look really nice. I don't know if it's blowing my socks off, worth $70 nice, but I will say it does look really good. I like how my makeup looks. At the end of the day, that's all I care about. I'm gonna see how this just wears down throughout the day. It's supposed to be long wearing, so I'm gonna wait around 4 or 5 hours, then take you outside to do a check-in in natural daylight. And for long wearing, I would expect this foundation to look just like this at 4 hours. So that's my expectation. Just gonna have to wait and see. Right now it's around 12 o'clock, so I'm gonna check in around 4 or 5 hours, see how this is looking. Of course, I have all the makeup that I'm wearing listed down below, but I will see you all in a little bit. All right, it's been 5 hours now, and here is the foundation outside in natural daylight. It's a little bit cloudy today, so not super sunny, but you know, here's up close. My cheek, you know, you can kind of see it. It's not fully melted into my skin, but all things considered, I'm actually pretty impressed with how it looks. I took a nap. I've been outside for most of the day, and I think that this still looks exactly how when I put it on. I can't really do anything about the makeup-y look. I wouldn't say it's accentuated. It's just, it looks like I'm wearing makeup, and you know, I am wearing makeup, so that's what it is. Now, I will say the only thing when I was looking in the mirror is I feel like around my mouth, like my chin, above my lip, like right here, the color just seems really weird, and I don't know if that was me picking the wrong shade. Again, I got the shade LC15, but it seems like it almost has like a green tint to it. And I don't know why that is. Before I do my final thoughts at the end of the night, I'm gonna kind of just see how much this oxidizes, if it's an oxidizing problem. I've never really experienced that before, where like a foundation kind of has like this weird just undertone to it. So I'm gonna explore that, see if I can figure it out. But like, it's not doing that on my forehead or on my cheeks where my other products are, just right here. So maybe it's just a bad shade match for me. I don't think it is. Like, I do think it actually matches me pretty well even in the summer. Like, it's a good just year-round shade that I could really get away with. But I don't know, that's the only thing I'm just not loving. Other than that, this is a really nice, it is matte. It is a matte foundation. I wouldn't say my oils are coming through. It's keeping them at bay. Really think this is going to be more for oily skin, normal skin, not necessarily for people with dry skin unless you like a matte look. I wouldn't call this a soft matte. Like, this is a matte look to me. So just have to decide what you like in a foundation. Again, like, here's just what it's looking like. I don't think it's accentuating my pores. I would agree that it's transfer proof as of right now. Like, I'm not seeing too many marks from my glasses where they've been resting. And sometimes my glasses even hit my cheeks, and I haven't been getting like foundation caked up on my glasses. So right now, I am really liking it. I like this look. It's, for me, not for every day. This is something that maybe I would wear more to like a nice dinner if I wanted something a little bit extra without having it be over the top, but I'm liking it. So now I'm going to insert in some swatches so you can see the shade compared to some other shades in my collection. And I'll see you in another 4 to 5 hours to just sum up my first impression final thoughts. It's now the end of the night. I just got back from walking my dogs because I have to wait until it's a lot cooler to take them out. And this is what the foundation's looking like. So I do really have to agree with Prada's claim that this is a long-wearing foundation. It has not moved. It looks exactly the same, other than just my complexion products fading and a little tiny bit of my oils coming through, but I haven't blotted or touched up this foundation at all. And it looks pretty matte still. I would say now it's more of a natural glow rather than a soft matte. So I think that this foundation, because of that, is going to be better suited for people with oily skin rather than dry skin. I think it's just going to be too matte for you if you have dry skin. Of course, if you do and you've tried this, let us know your thoughts down below in the comments, but that's just kind of my inkling right now. I'm pretty impressed with how this has held up just throughout the whole day. I was outside for most of the day, cleaning. Like I said, took my dogs for a walk. So for it to look like this in August, I'm pretty impressed. Now, I did mention just in my check-in that it was kind of giving me this green tint, I feel like, and I don't know if my eyes are deceiving me. So I'm going to swatch this on the back of my hand right now, wait a couple minutes, and then we'll swatch it again and see together if it's oxidized. I don't think it's oxidizing. I think that maybe I should have just gone with more of a neutral undertone rather than the cool undertone, and it's just maybe a smidge light for me right now in summer, but wintertime, I don't think I'm gonna have any issues. I'm gonna test out this foundation more with maybe a hydrating primer. That's on my list to see if it just gives it more of a natural finish rather than a soft matte. And I also just want to test it out with creams and see how it works with cream complexion products. I always do a foundation roundup once I have a couple of foundations that I've done first impressions on. So make sure you're subscribed. I'll link my last one up above. But I'm really liking this. I don't know if it's worth $70. definitely, actually, no, I don't think it's worth $70. I don't think it's that great of a foundation, but it is a pretty good foundation. This is a foundation I would wear to my old job. I used to work retail and I used to work very long hours back when I was working there. So this is a foundation I would wear for that. However, if I have a more casual job or just my life as it looks now day to day, this is not a foundation I would reach for every day. It's a little bit just too much of a medium coverage. I do think it's a medium coverage, and I just day to day, I'm gonna want more of a light to medium. So it's just a smidge too much coverage as like a day to day, but I will be reaching for this just more often if I'm going out, date night, something like that. I kind of just like at the top of my head, my Pat McGrath foundation is kind of just the one that I go to for events when I want something really long wearing. And I kind of want to put this one up against that. I might do that because this is kind of what it's reminding me of, is the Pat McGrath foundation. So I'm just gonna maybe report back when I do my foundation roundup and see if it's just as good as the Pat McGrath. The Pat McGrath also kind of just has more of a soft matte finish. So off the bat, if you like the Pat McGrath foundation, I think you'd really like the Prada. Kind of have to reacquaint myself with the Pat McGrath, but that's what I'm thinking right now. But now that I've had this kind of sit here a little bit, let's now swatch it and just see if it oxidizes. Now, I do want to talk about the scent. I don't notice any kind of scent. It did oxidize, just a smidge. Here's the one that I put on my hand a while ago. Here's the fresh swatch. So it does oxidize teeny tiny bit. Not bad though, not bad at all. I prefer this shade for myself more. It did darken, so I don't know why just around my chin, I'm feeling like it looked a little bit on the green side. Like I said, I've never experienced that before. So I'm gonna test it out, maybe mix like a darker foundation in with this for summertime and see if that changes my thoughts on that. But just so you know, it does have a very slight scent, but nothing that's as strong smelling as some other luxury foundations. I mean, off the top of my head, Guerlain has a very strong scent. Chanel has a very strong scent. This is a pretty light scent for a luxury foundation. I barely even noticed it. I didn't notice putting it on, and now I don't even smell it on the back of my hand. So it dissipates after a couple of minutes. But overall, really happy with this foundation. This is what I wanted the Givenchy Skin Caring Libre Matte Foundation to be. I absolutely hated that foundation. I'll link that review up above. But it was one of the worst foundations I ever tried. It was just so heavy, cakey, dry for being matte. And this is what I wanted out of that foundation. So I'm really happy that I picked this up. I think it's a little expensive. That's really my only con. I do like that they have a refill, but that's my thoughts so far. You'll have to let me know down below if you plan on picking up this foundation, if it's on your wish list, what your skin type is, if you've already tried it. But that's where I'm gonna leave you all. Hopefully the swatches were helpful, the wear test was helpful, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone.